Hi everyone, this is Evelina Bishada, Feel, Grow, Live here. I have some news for you. I have created a therapeutic program called Mechanics of Mental Health, where I teach you everything I know about anxiety and depression based on thousands of hours in the therapeutic room. I'm a therapist, where I teach you about mental health and its nature and some basic stuff about your nervous system and how it's all connected. And here's a snapshot from one of the modules. Enjoy it and I hope you find it useful. Welcome in the next video of our course. This is the first video of the first part, which is the foundation part and the building blocks that we need to know in order for us to understand the mechanism, which is the main part of the learning. But before we go ahead and sort of get heavy on the material, on the knowledge, we need to paint a bit of a context for our learning. Because, you know, these things don't happen in a vacuum. This is your experience. So I think the context is really important. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. I want you to now understand why is it important to learn about the nervous system. If we go back to our house story and we treat our mind as being represented by a house, and we treat our nervous system as the plumbing and electricity of the house that we're talking about, then we understand how our mental health is not mental at all. This is the first big misconception that we're going to pull apart in this course. I think it's very misleading to think of mental health as only something relating to your mind or your brain. And that's a big, big misunderstanding and misleading, misinformation. You can call it whatever you want. That it is like being taken out of the context totally. And your brain doesn't function in a vacuum. Your brain is not an island. Your mind is not an island. Your brain and mind and what happens in there is an extension of your nervous system. And we're going to address this blind spot because I want you to understand that nothing that happens in your mind happens randomly. We say mental health, but mental health is an extension of what happens in your nervous system. Your anxiety and depression is a full-on bodily experience, and your mental health, it's an extension of your physiology and what happens in the body. Knowledge about your nervous system holds a lot of answers to why you might be struggling, and as to why things that you try to do on a mind level, they either don't work at all or they work for a very short period of time. So what I'm talking about here is if you address anxiety or depression only on the mind level, only on a symptom level, it's a symptom, it's not the cause. But if you say, okay, so I have intrusive thoughts, right? And then the therapist or whoever or someone gives you a brilliant advice of, you need to write down 5 reasons you're grateful for life every day and your symptom is going to go away. Well, that's not the case. It might work for 5 minutes, but if your physiology takes complete priority over your brain and over your mind, what happens on the thought level and the mind level. So that's why it's very important to learn about the nervous system. Your nervous system is all over your body. That's the first thing to remember. And your anxiety and depression are, first of all, full-on bodily experiences that happen outside of your awareness. And I will be repeating that throughout this course, that you have nothing to do with your anxiety or depression. Things that happen in your mind, they have nothing to do with you and they happen outside of your awareness. So as good things and bad things, so positive things and negative things. So things that are, let's say, on a pleasant side, and things are on a less pleasant side, like your anxiety and depression. They happen in your nervous system first. So This is just a generic point that I'm making at the moment, which I will be building on throughout the course. But this is the first invitation to release any judgment about your anxiety and depression you might have. Because if you're judging yourself for it, if you're berating yourself for it, if you're giving yourself a hard time for anxiety and depression, you're only making things worse.